You know that feeling, right? That moment when a totally normal interaction suddenly feels like a personal attack. Well, what if I told you that when you're angry, you're not actually seeing the world as it is? You're seeing it through a filter, a special lens that's wired to see red.
Think about it. You get a one-word text message. Your stomach just drops. Your mind starts racing. Okay, that's it. They were definitely mad at me. I mean, that period at the end, it feels like a tiny little dagger of pure rage. This is exactly the kind of everyday moment where that anger lens starts to twist and warp our reality. And that really gets to the heart of the question we're going to explore today. Is what you're feeling an actual threat, or does it just feel like one? Because when we're angry, our brain's threat detection system basically goes into overdrive, and that line between what's real and what our anger tells us is real gets, well, it gets incredibly blurry. So here's the most important thing to get. Anger isn't just a feeling you have inside you. No, it's a perceptual lens that you look through. And this lens, it magnifies hostility, it invents bad intentions where there might be none, and it literally changes the story your brain tells you about what's happening. So let's break down how this lens actually works.
First up, let's talk about the hostile mindset. Now, you can think of this as a kind of recurring glitch in your brain's social software. It's like a bug that misreads the data coming in and just automatically defaults to the absolute worst-case scenario.
Psychologists have a name for this glitch, Hostile Attribution Bias, or HAB for short. It's a mental shortcut. And when you're faced with a situation that's kind of vague, your brain doesn't bother weighing all the possibilities. It just jumps straight to the most negative conclusion, that other person meant to hurt you. It assumes hostile intent.
Let's make this real. Imagine you're in line for a coffee, and somebody just slips in right in front of you. Okay, through the anger lens, your brain instantly goes to the hostile story. They did that on purpose. This is a deliberate act of disrespect. But if you take that lens off, other, more harmless possibilities come into view. Maybe they didn't even see you. Maybe they're running late for something really important. You see, the event is exactly the same. The reality your brain builds around it is completely different.
So you've got to be asking, why do our brains even have this glitch? Well, it turns out this isn't some modern bug. It's actually an ancient feature, a piece of evolutionary programming that was designed for a very, very different world than the one we live in now.
And this brings us to this really cool idea called the recalibrational theory of anger. This theory suggests that anger isn't a mistake at all. It actually evolved as a negotiation tactic. Its whole job is to bargain for better treatment from other people, to basically force them to value your well-being more.
And the theory hinges on this core concept, the welfare trade-off ratio, or WTR. In every single one of your interactions, your brain is subconsciously running a calculation. How much does this person value my welfare compared to their own? Anger is the alarm system that blasts off when your brain decides that their WTR toward you is just unacceptably low.
Okay, this scarf example makes it crystal clear. In both scenarios, your favorite scarf is ruined. The cost to you is identical. But if your friend used it to save someone's life, you get it, right? The benefit to them was huge. But if they used it to wipe ketchup off their face, the benefit to them was practically nothing. And that tiny benefit implies they place almost zero value on your welfare. That's a super low WTR, and that is what triggers the rage.
And get this internal anger system is calibrated by our own sense of our bargaining power. According to the research, things like our physical strength or our social status actually increase our brain's expectation of how well we should be treated. In other words, from an evolutionary standpoint, if you have more power to either inflict costs on others or provide benefits to them, your brain feels more entitled to good treatment, making you way quicker to anger when you don't get it.
Okay, so we've got the cognitive glitch and the ancient evolutionary why. But what is actually happening inside your skull when this whole system kicks into gear? Let's pop the hood and look at the brain's hardware. So, when you get that ambiguous "okay" text, the information hits a fork in the road in your brain. There's what we call the low road, a super fast, direct highway to your emotional threat detector. And then there's the high road, a slower, more logical, scenic route to your thinking brain. The problem? The low road's lightning-fast threat signal usually hijacks the whole system before the high road has even had a chance to put its shoes on.
Think of it this way. Your amygdala is like your brain's smoke detector, always on, always scanning for danger. When it goes off, it activates the salience network, which is like a giant, powerful spotlight that forces all of your attention onto that one perceived threat. And in that exact moment, your prefrontal cortex, the logical CEO of your brain, gets shoved out of the room. Logic is gone. Raw, unfiltered reaction takes over.
So when you combine this cognitive glitch with that ancient programming and these neural shortcuts, you don't just get a one-off angry moment. Oh no. You create a dangerous, self-feeding cycle of conflict.
And this cycle is powered by something we call angry rumination. You know what this is. It's that mental movie you play on a constant loop after someone slighted you, replaying the conversation, thinking of all the smart things you should have said, and just simmering in that feeling of injustice.
Now here's the really scary part. Every single time you ruminate, you are actively strengthening those hostile pathways in your brain. You're training that salience network to get even better at spotting disrespect in the future. And the research shows this absolutely wild paradox. The more you do it, the more confident you become in your angry judgments, even as you become less and less accurate. It's a vicious cycle. Every replay carves that angry groove deeper into your mind.
But here is the really good news. We are not just slaves to our brain's ancient, glitchy software. We can absolutely debug the system. Cognitive science has given us the tools to consciously clear the anger lens.
The most powerful technique is called cognitive reappraisal, and it's way simpler than it sounds. It is the conscious, deliberate act of overriding your brain's automatic, hostile story and choosing to tell yourself a different one. It's about taking back the remote control of your own narrative.
And the process really just comes down to 3 simple steps. First, notice. Recognize that flash of anger and just pause. Don't send the text, don't say the thing, just stop. Second, generate alternatives. Force your brain to do what it does not want to do. Ask yourself, what are 2 or 3 other non-hostile reasons this could have happened? Maybe they're driving. Maybe they're in a loud room. Maybe their kid just spilled something. And third, reframe. Deliberately choose one of those more neutral explanations to focus on. You are manually using your thinking brain to wipe your anger lens clean.
So, the next time you feel that hot flash of anger rising up, before you say or do anything, just ask yourself this one simple question. What is my brain not letting me see right now? This question acknowledges that your anger feels completely real, but it also reminds you that it might be an illusion, a distortion created by that powerful ancient lens. And by asking, you're not just managing an emotion, you are taking back control of your own reality.